When large jobs require moving massive amounts of snow, get the work done quickly and efficiently with the Western Pile Driver and all-new Pile Driver XL pusher plows, both featuring Trace Edge technology. These pushers scrape down to the pavement with an advanced cutting-edge system that has independent 2-foot sections that move vertically, oscillate, and trip. Get more jobs done faster with the Western Pile Driver lineup of pusher plows.
Mike Bott from Frost Solutions, one of the owners of the company. What we do is provide a mini weather station to give you a tailored forecast to those particular locations so you know where and when and what to do in those parts of town. You know there's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different ways that people can experience tremendous value having a technology like this.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey with your host, Dave Westcott. The Entrepreneurial Journey is a weekly podcast that streams live every Tuesday at 9:15 a.m. Pacific on Dave's YouTube channel and LinkedIn profile. Now here's Dave with this week's episode.
Good morning and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Journey. I'm your host, Dave Westcott, and this morning I have with me multiple special guests, which is nice. We've got a full house this morning. We've got John Simpson, Outreach Pastor, and Christy Browning, Program Director at Bethany Compassion Center. I'm just going to give a quick bio. Oh, of course, Pastor Dave, you know him. He's on the show. Every month we see him looking fantastic. Great hair day over there in Arlington. Hey, it's good. It's good to look good. All right, quick bio. So Pastor John Simpson had a life-changing encounter with Jesus Christ in 1990 and has been deeply committed to sharing Christ's love with others ever since. He has served in local church ministries for over 25 years and is the outreach pastor for Bethany Compassion Center in Everett, Washington. He has lived in the Pacific Northwest all his life. He and his wife, Jennifer, have 4 children and 2 grandchildren, with another on the way. That is so exciting. His favorite outdoor activity is night skiing in a storm. We got to talk about that. That sounds exciting, too. His favorite flavor of ice cream is black licorice. That's kind of old school, black licorice. And his music of choice is classical. Christy Browning was born and raised in Snohomish County and has deep roots in the area. She has been involved in church administration, children's ministries, youth ministries, and compassion work for over 20 years. She landed her current role as the program coordinator for Bethany Compassion Center after feeling called to dive deeper into working hands-on with the lost and hurting in our community. Christy is married to Kent, an IT systems administrator for Costco Travel. Together they enjoy exploring the mountains and traveling whenever possible. I feel like I need a rest from those interviews. That was a lot of, I did a great job though. I'm just going to, there's a little pride there. Hopefully I don't fall in the show. No, but the entrepreneurial journey is important. This is about, a lot of business, and we talk about business and how business is important and how business is tough and businesses thrive in communities. And part of what we see is that businesses that give back to community have a greater purpose, they have a greater connection, and they have some great success. And I always love working with businesses that give to local charities, local nonprofits, local churches, those sort of things. I think it's an amazing thing. And also, you can't take it with you, so it's great to be able to give back. I wanted to kick this off with just a quick question to Pastor John. Had the life-changing encounter with Jesus Christ in 1990. Can you share what that was?
Sure. I was definitely at the lowest point of my life. I was not raised in church, but I cried out to God, sent up one of those SOS prayers. God, if you're out there, will you help me? And he did, but it didn't really come in the form that I was expecting. He started sending people into my life, and it was on September 30th, 1990, that a very specific individual, who is now my wife, shared the gospel with me. Told me that God knew me. He loved me. He had a plan for my life. He wanted to forgive me, and just give me a brand new life. And I was desperately searching for hope, desperately searching for meaning in life. And it was on September 30th, 1990, I invited Christ into my life, and everything changed. Nothing's been the same since. So definitely had a huge void in my heart and my life. That is no longer the case.
That's awesome. And you're
That's
still
awesome.
married today.
I still am
I'm
married
just kidding.
today.
I'm just teasing.
Right.
You got to have a little humor every so often.
Christy, why don't you share with us a little bit about your background and how did you come to Christ, and also how did you get involved in Bethany Compassion Center?
Yeah, so I grew up going to church fairly young, just my best friend had invited me to come to midweek kid program, and I loved going, just gave me some purpose. And then in high school, really, that's when God really kind of got a hold of me and became something that I wanted to do. I wanted to serve him. I wanted to live for him. It was more than just going to hang out with my friends. And church was always a place that I found family. I found people that really just loved me and supported me. Coming from a family that were not believers, that was something that I really needed. And I worked at that church where I was saved. I worked there for over 15 years in different capacities of ministry. But really just started to feel a couple years ago, I just wanted to be more hands-on. I wanted to actually be working one-on-one with people that just were hurting and in need. And so a good friend of mine that worked for the church that I currently attend had told me about this opening at the Compassion Center and how they thought it was just perfectly fit to my skill set and to my passion. And so I applied, and here we are 3 years later.
Awesome. That's great.
What does the Compassion Center do on a daily basis?
We run a variety of different programs. We have we help with some immediate relief. So we've got a food pantry. We've got a laundry program. We've got open hours. People can come into the Compassion Center and fill out an application for assistance. There's a variety of programs that we provide, just to meet basic essential needs in people's lives. So on a daily basis, we're helping people with food. We're sitting down with folks, and people come into the Compassion Center with a variety of needs. And so the idea is to identify what's the most critical need in each person's life at that moment. So it's really, we're meeting new people every day, just engaging with the community.
Well, that's fantastic. Go ahead, Dave.
What are some of the programs that you guys run? Because I know it's not just about, the meet and greet, but it's also, you have programs that really help people step beyond the crisis moment into some real strength. So what are some of those programs that you guys run?
Yeah, some of the programs that we run, we do free ESL classes, just trying to help people gain more skills that will help them advance their career or be more successful, in different areas. We have support groups, we have life recovery groups for those struggling with addiction, and that's faith-based, so helping them understand how to overcome some of those obstacles while also incorporating the faith aspect of things. There's different classes and things at different times, just trying to help people build skills. And with all of the people that come through our door, when we do the meet and greet or when we sit down and talk to somebody, our goal is to build relationships so that down the road, as we have new programs, classes, or things like that might benefit that person and help them take a step forward and not stay in that cycle of struggle, that we have a connection already that we can invite them into that. And that's something we work really, really hard to develop and maintain.
That's awesome. How was this idea birthed to have a compassion center? I haven't heard of a compassion center in another church. Maybe they have them, I just don't know about it. But how was this vision birthed?
Well, Bethany Christian Assembly, this is an outreach for Bethany Christian Assembly here in Everett. The church has been in the community for over 110 years and has a long history of compassion, doing compassion work. And so the dream, the vision was to one day have a separate facility outside the church that was solely dedicated to compassion work, so that there would be, bottom line, so that we would be able to serve more people. And so, so we were able to realize this dream in 2019. And so everything we do is dedicated to serving the community, reaching the community. And it's really been an amazing opportunity.
That's awesome. Who do you guys see most often? Is it the homeless, or is it families with children? Is it elderly, or is it a mix?
I would say it's really a mix. We do serve the homeless through many of our programs, but also just the working, the group of people who are working hard. They might have jobs, they might have a home, but they're just barely scraping by and really struggling in a lot of ways, and not, they're suffering from food insecurity and things like that. Honestly, that's probably the vast majority of the people that we see, along with those who are unhoused.
Well, what is for somebody, an entrepreneur, a listener, a business owner, executive, I don't know, whoever might be listening to our show today, what's one thing that they might not know about doing compassion work that is, that's really a big miss, or something that we don't know about, something that we don't see just kind of in everyday life? What is something that you guys have come across that's like, oh, wow, you would never know that before you started working here, or before you started this mission? What would one thing be? I know that's a tough question.
Every person has their own story, and it's really easy to make assumptions. And so I think you can't make blanket statements, or we have to approach people as individuals, and not see not make preconceived or predetermined judgments, but just to meet each person as an individual and work with them. And so I would say, we come into this work with a lot of, it could be a bias, it could be a misunderstanding, a certain level of ignorance. And so really the learning curve continues, just really learning to understand people. I mean, that's really what I would say is it's critical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Christy, go ahead.
That's okay. I was just kind of piggybacking on that as well. I think it's really easy to fall into this mindset based on your own personal experience, life experience, of what is easy or attainable, and without realizing that we don't all have the same toolbox. We don't all inherently have the same tools, and so what is easy for me may not be easy for the next person. And even though when I look at just my life, and I didn't have the easiest growing up, but really when I look at it now, I have so much more than a lot of people have. And I had a mom who is like, she worked so hard and, instilled so much in me that I really was equipped to handle a lot of hard stuff as an adult. And not everybody has that. And so I hear a lot of people talk about, there's so many resources out there and there's no reason somebody can't hold a steady job. But when you actually are talking to people and getting to know people and understanding their circumstances, it's not black and white. It really isn't.
I know you probably have hundreds of stories that you could tell about just lives that were changed. And I know you probably have to keep names out of it, but tell us a story about kind of one of those success stories where you're like, wow, I wish I could see this all the time. We realize it doesn't happen all the time, but just tell us a little story.
There was a man named Mark that was living on the streets in Everett. He was unfortunately losing a battle with alcohol addiction, and he was just walking down the street, and he saw our sign. We have a sign out front that just asks the question, "Need help?" And he saw our sign, and he came walking through the door. And just from the get-go, his experience was so positive. He was welcomed warmly. We sat down with him. We learned about him, learned about his story. We gave him something to eat, and eventually helped him get plugged into a treatment plan. And so Mark was able to get sober, and he was able to start a brand new life. And so it started with a conversation. It started with him walking through the door. So I love his story. One of the things that Mark says that I'll never forget is he said, "You saw something in me that I'd forgotten about a long time ago."
Mm. Wow. Wow, that's really good.
That is really good. What would you guys say is the most difficult aspect of the work you do today?
Oh, yeah. For me, as somebody who's very empathetic, it's really hard to see people struggle and in pain. And so that makes it really hard to not make emotional decisions and want to just rescue people. And so it becomes this battle of really having to keep the main question in front of me of how can I best help this person? Because oftentimes the answer to that question is not what's being asked of me, or not what a person necessarily wants to hear. But truly, if our desire is to help people, then we have to kind of separate that hard emotion and really think about, really what is going to help this person move forward. What is the best way for me to support them and to stick to that and to not let those feelings of guilt or just sadness almost to change that or to sway that at all.
Yeah. John, any other thoughts?
The work that we do, it often feels like what we do and what we provide seems so small, and it seems like we're not doing enough. But we have to remember that we're part of a solution. And really, our responsibility is to share and provide what God has entrusted us with, and that we need to leave the big picture to God. He's the only one that can save people. He's the only one that can really, truly restore and rebuild a life. And we're part of a process. And so, but it often feels like we're not doing enough, and that we find that tension on a daily basis.
Yeah. I know you guys have a big event coming up. Matter of fact, a team from TransBlue is going to be helping with a setup here in August, which we're excited about. It's always good for, the company to, get out of the walls. And Dave has been so generous in allowing his employees to, to take the time out of the office and participate. But tell us a little bit about the Summer Bash and what you guys are doing, because I know that's a pretty big event.
Yeah, we're really excited. So the Summer Bash, this is our 4th year doing it. And the goal behind it is we want to meet practical needs right here in our backyard, in our community. And we want to have a lot of fun while we're doing it and provide a day of fun for people. So we'll be providing free backpacks and school supplies, free groceries. We serve a lunch. We have games and activities for all ages. And again, it's all about just building relationships and then meeting practical needs. And so like I said, we've been doing this for 4 years now, or this will be our 4th year. And it's one of the things we look forward to most. It'll be on Saturday, August 17th from 11 to 1 p.m. and at Hawthorne Elementary, which is right here in our neighborhood. And we're really looking forward to it.
This sounds like an awesome event, and I'm glad that our team is going to be there to hang out and participate, and do all that. That's going to be a great thing. So, just from what I heard, you guys got started in 2019. So this is right before the pandemic. This is about a year before the pandemic. How did you guys I mean, I know that a lot of nonprofit, a lot of organizations, a lot of businesses struggled through the pandemic. How did you guys survive the pandemic? What did the pandemic look like um, for you guys and the Bethany Compassion Center?
We just, like everybody else, we had to find a new way. We had to make adjustments. We never stopped serving the community, but it just looked different. So, as an example, we've run a weekend food program in one of the local elementaries, Hawthorne Elementary, for many, many years. And we had teams that would go on site in the school, pack the backpacks, and the students would take them home. These are students that didn't have enough food to eat on the weekends, and so we developed this program. Well, when COVID hit, we no longer had access to the school, and so what we began doing is we moved the whole process to the Compassion Center. We pack all the bags here. A staff member would come and pick the bags up, make sure that they got in the hands of the students. So we just had to find a different way. But we were committed in as many cases as possible to continue to serve the community and to keep the programs running. So took creativity, took flexibility, and we learned a lot.
Improvise, adapt, overcome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta push for it. So that's pretty cool with the school lunches. Is that one of the big things that is that a big part of the Compassion program? Is school lunches, underprivileged kids, that sort of thing? Is that a big push?
Food is always a big part of what we do and what we're about. It's just, everybody needs to eat. And the poverty rates, especially in North Everett, are just really, really high. And so we provide weekend food bags for students at Hawthorne Elementary. We're doing the same thing in a few other schools. We've got, like I said, we've got a food pantry here, so people can come, find help when they need it. We've got a new program with Madrona. Christy, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so just a couple of blocks from the Compassion Center, there were some new apartments that opened up last year that are low income, and 2/3 of them were reserved for families who previously had been experiencing homelessness. And
wow.
so we developed we had a good relationship with the school district and specifically the people that were serving those families who are homeless. And so we started putting together housewarming gifts so that when each family moved into an apartment, we had just pantry staples to kind of get them started. They're coming from nothing, living in a car, couch surfing. And so just the basic essentials and just an olive branch of just letting people know that we're here and that we care about them and that they have support.
That's really good.
That's amazing.
Well, we also one of the things that we do is develop partnerships with other organizations, and we've worked for a long time with Everett Gospel Mission, and so we've been very involved in providing meals down there, and we've had teams in the past that have gone in and helped prepare meals. COVID changed that. We're looking forward to being able to having that opportunity come again, but we help provide meals there. We've got a single mom support group. One of the things that we do there is just make snacks and food, things available that they can take home with them. So there's just, there's a lot of different ways that we're providing food for people.
I know you guys are also helping some of the elderly in the community when they hit a crisis. John, I was pretty impressed by some of the, few of the stories that you shared. Tell us about, how you guys help some of the elderly.
I I would say that the main thing that we provide, and this really was born out of COVID, elderly people that were in care facilities, they were many times they were completely cut off from anyone other than staff, and so loneliness, is just a major issue among a lot of people, and especially the elderly. So we developed a program called the Encouragement Project, and so the idea is just to find a volunteer, pair them up with an elderly person that is just struggling with loneliness and isolation. And the idea is just to build friendship, just to check in and provide, human, companionship, friendship. And we all desperately need that. And there's so many elderly people in our community that really feel isolated and cut off. And so we developed this program. It's just a wonderful. We're seeing wonderful things happen.
Yeah, I love that. My wife and I have befriended a 96-year-old Austrian lady who her family has kind of abandoned her. She lives alone, and it is so fun to be able to go visit, bring her ice cream, love her emails. She sends us these little emails back and forth. And man, I get encouraged whenever I go and visit Hertha. And so I love that you are building a bridge in that way and giving people the opportunity to have those kind of relationships. They go both ways. That's the cool part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. All right. I'm changing topics. Night skiing in a storm. What's going on here? Night skiing in a storm. Why? What drove you to do it? How often do you do it? How severe are these storms?
It's one of those, skiing is something I fell in love with that at 6 years old. I decided that winter was the most amazing thing. So I've always loved winter sports. I love snow skiing. And there's something about being in the mountains at night in a storm. It's just otherworldly. It seems like that's a time, that's therapy. That's a time when you can kind of just forget about everything else and just enjoy this amazing experience. So I've always loved that. So and the other thing about night skiing is not a lot of people like that. So it seems like you have the mountain to yourself, and it's just an amazing experience.
As long as your goggles don't fog up, it's really good.
Even
All
if
right, there you go.
It's still fun.
So I did a night skiing with the Westgate Chapel youth group many moons ago.
Yeah.
And we went up to this, I think Stevens Pass, maybe, I don't know. But we went up night skiing, and this was my first time ever skiing ever. And I decided to do snowboarding. And, we got up on one of these hills, man, and I'm going down that hill, and I'm going faster and faster. I don't know how to stop. And so, I'm thinking to myself, oh, my gosh, I'm going to crash. And so I made myself crash, and I flipped over. Anyways, in doing that, I lost the board that I was on. I broke my foot.
Oh, no.
Yes, that happened. I broke my foot. And that was my one and only night skiing experience. But I will say, Western snowplows, you can see here we're representing Western snowplow. I love to plow snow at night. And we love to work in the storm. So it's very close to the skiing. I don't know which is more fun. I think the snow plowing might be more fun for me. But I understand where you're coming from. A lot of the same things, not a lot of people out on the road. Good time to reflect and think. Just plow a parking lot. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so now we know about that. And then finally, black licorice. What is that? How did you get in that?
Well, there's two kinds of people, those that love it and those that don't. And we are a small minority. I took piano lessons as a child, about 6 years old. I was terrible at piano. That didn't stick. But what did stick is if I did well at practice, the teacher would reward me with black licorice candy. And so That's when it started. That's when I discovered, that's when I found the truth. The truth
Ah,
is, it's
okay, I'm going to
fantastic.
say this, and I don't mean this to date anybody on the call, but here's what I have found in my dad loves black licorice. My dad was born in 1933. Okay. What I have found is if you were born in the 30s, 40s, possibly the 50s, you like black licorice. You'll buy black licorice. It may be something that you love. If you're born after that, maybe in the 60s, the 70s, you don't like it. This is what I've come to find.
Unless
You had a parent that liked it and they fed it to you and you became addicted to it.
yeah, or if you're
Like
from
John.
European descent, because those that are from Europe, they like black licorice, all kinds, the salty, the all of that kind of black licorice. So I grew up with parents who had black licorice. So I'm with John. I like black licorice. The red licorice, I mean, it's like, what? It's just not good.
I love the red licorice. Okay, we got to get serious again. How many people do you guys serve in a year? How many people are coming through the Compassion Center?
That's a great question. I'm trying to do quick math.
That's okay. That's one of those licorice skills.
Yeah, we track different things, and just as a very basic number, we count like 50,000 acts of compassion every year. So 50,000 people are being touched by the different services or things that we offer, whether that's one-on-one meeting, phone calls, food, when you kind of factor in all of it, somewhere around there.
Well, that's awesome. And the biggest need, what is the biggest need that you have today?
We definitely, it's about food. It comes back to food. Food insecurity is just growing. It's off the charts. We're seeing food move off of our shelves at a faster pace than ever before. And so it really is, again, it's a basic human need. We all need to eat, and there's a lot of families. You asked the question earlier, who do we work with primarily? A lot of folks are, it's folks that are working, but they're just not making it. They're just not getting by. And so we need food for our weekend food bag program. We need food for our food pantry, just for the Madrona Square project. It's just, in order to do these things, it requires a lot of resources. We're going to give away hundreds of bags of groceries at the Summer Bash, and so it takes a tremendous amount of resources.
Yeah, that does. How can someone support? How can someone give to this organization?
I mean, the easiest way to give is through our website, which is just BethanyCompassionCenter.com /give. We'll take you right to the giving page. And there's ways for people to set up recurring giving, a one-time giving. And then we're also, have been working on our partnerships with different businesses or anything that want to become a monthly donor, and some marketing or advertising opportunities that come along with that are all available via the website.
That's good.
Okay, that's awesome. Dave, can we do a matching gift, like $1,000 gift if they get a donation that matches our donation? Can we set something like that up for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody wants to have a matching gift, all they need to do is go to the Enbridge website, and we will have it linked there. And we will also have on the screen a text to give that will 100%, plus we will double it, will go to Bethany Compassion Center. So we will have that on the screen, and you guys can follow that link.
All right, that is awesome. So just to recap, we've got one of the biggest needs that we're looking at here today is food. One of the biggest challenges is folks are just not getting by. It's a tough economy. It's a tough world. Things are expensive, and you guys are helping with food. Food flies off the shelves, and that's one of the big things that are happening. August 17th, we've got the big event, and we're going to be giving away tons of food and product and conversations and everything that's going to help people get taken care of. You see about 50,000 or touch about 50,000 people in a given year. And you're doing a lot with the schools. I love the school thing where we're doing the backpacks filled with food for the weekend and helping the kids. I think that's an amazing thing. Did I miss anything in there?
I think that's a good description of it. We basically, we're just finding that our goal is to identify critical needs in the community. And so as needs continue to arise, we just find a way to respond. And another example of that would be our laundry program. So it's just a need that kept coming up and something that's easy to take for granted. We kept running into people that didn't have access to laundry facilities. So we developed a program, and twice a week people can come in and do their laundry without cost. And so it's another way to build relationships, another way to serve people. And it's just about meeting basic human need, and it provides an opportunity for us to show God's love. So,
Love it.
That is absolutely fantastic. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to bring this in for a close. If you like this show, give us a like, give us a share, drop your comments into the comment box. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to respond and chat. I'm Dave Westcott. The best way to get a hold of me is a direct message through LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere it's social, we're hanging out. I hope you like the show, and thank you so much, guys, for joining the show today. Thank you to our audience for tuning in. And Bethany Compassion Center, check it out. Amazing work these folks are doing. If you're in business, dig deep, because if you're in business and no one knows you're in business and no one knows you're in your community, and if you're gone tomorrow and you didn't make an impact, what was the point in being in business? So I challenge you, get out there, dig deep, and help sponsor and support these amazing causes like Bethany Compassion Center. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dave.
Mike Bott from Frost Solutions, one of the owners of the company. What we do is provide a mini weather station to give you a tailored forecast to those particular locations, so you know where and when and what to do in those parts of town. You know there's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different ways that people can experience tremendous value having a technology like this.
Introducing the all-new Western Enforcer V-Plow. Engineered with all the features, efficiency, and performance of full-size Western V-Plows, built specifically for your half-ton truck. For more information, visit westernplows.com.